Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today's chapter is about production possibility curve. Previously, we have studied about the different economic problem, and then those were the basics of economics. So basically, this chapter is going to deal with the curves. So it's going to become a bit technical from here onwards. So you just have to understand that how the curves work and what is basically production possibility curve. If you understand the definition of the production possibility curve properly, then it will become far easier for you to understand the entire topic. So now, first of all, you need to question yourself that what do you think is production possibility curve, and what does this topic make you think that it does it lead is it somewhere related to production, and how would the curve be made, and what sort of a curve it would be. After questioning yourself properly at length and thinking about it and pondering over it, you can start off with the definition of production possibility curve. Now the definition is crucially important because if you get a grip on the definition of this topic, then you will be able to understand that the entire topic properly, and it would become far easier for you, as I've told you earlier as well. So now first let's try to understand and break the definition into different parts. Now the definition says a production possibility frontier, because the curve is also known as frontier, and the other name for production possibility curve is a transformation curve. So it has three names: production possibility curve, production possibility frontier, and production possibility transformation. So it shows the maximum possible output. So the very first thing that it's talking about is that it shows the maximum possible output. Now, when we talk about the line went a bit up. So basically, it's talking about the maximum output. Then the second part says the combination of two goods. So it's something that relates with, or it's related to the two goods. So it's a combination of two goods. An economy can achieve when all resources are fully employed. So the very important third aspect of it is that the resources are fully employed. So you have resources that, in order to achieve the optimal or efficient level, you have to keep in mind that the resources are fully employed. So the definition has three aspects of it. For number one is that it is the maximum possible output. So if you just break it into three, number one says maximum possible output. Then the second one says is that it is talking about combination of two goods, right? So there it is dealing with two goods. And then the third one says is that it is the all the resources are fully employed. Okay, so all the resources are fully employed. This is the definition that has to be kept in mind every time, and you need to understand it properly. Now we move on to the graphical presentation of it. So when you look at this, on the vertical axis, it's one product; on the horizontal axis, it's another product. So in this example, we see that on the vertical axis, we have taken pizza, and on the horizontal axis, we have taken sugar. So now this line, this curve that you see, this concave curve that you see from here till this point shows all the points on this curve are the socially optimal or the socially efficient points, right? So even if the point is here, A, B, C, or whatsoever, all the points that are on the curve are attainable, achievable, and they use the resources completely and fully. Whereas any point that is under this curve, under this concave curve, is socially, this is achievable, these points are achievable, or if it would have been here or here, it would have been achievable, but this was not the most efficient point, and some of the resources would have remained vacant. Whereas any point that is outside of the curve is not achievable or attainable without increasing the resources, because with the given resources that you have fully utilized them. So this point, any point beyond the curve, is not achievable. And also you have to keep in mind that this curve has a changing opportunity cost. Now you must be thinking that how opportunity cost is involved in this entire process. I'll explain. When you are choosing this point, for example, we are producing at this point, so we have this much amount of sugar that we're producing and this much amount of pizza. But if we move on to this point, So it means that we are giving up on certain level of pizzas, certain amount of pizzas in order to produce more of sugar. So that giving up on something in order to choose another one involves the opportunity cost. So when you forego a good or a service in order to choose the other one involves the opportunity cost. But this curve has a changing opportunity cost. And if you are producing at this point, it means you are utilizing all your resources for the production of pizzas and there is no production of sugar. Whereas if you are producing at this point, it shows that you're utilizing all your resources in the production of sugar and there is no production of pizzas. Okay. Now we will move on with towards understanding what production possibility curve is. Production possibility curve, also known as frontier and production possibility transformation. In microeconomics, it is a point at which a country's economy is most efficiently producing its various goods and services and therefore allocating its resources in the best possible way. So all the points that are on the production possibility curve show that it is at the best possible production level. Now here's an example that it has been provided to you and you can go through it in order to understand what basically production possibility curve means. So if you have any question or queries, you can ask me on the Google Classroom or in the next class, and then we can further proceed.